Hey guys, back at Farmer Pat here. I'm over my famous red coat plum tree that, guys, remember, it was loaded with plums over the past several months, and now it's beginning to leaf out. But what I noticed is the branch that I air layered a few months back, can't remember exactly how long. I noticed that branch, while it did fruit and it has a lot of fruit, the fruits are prematurely ripening and falling off, and they're not really good because they're just too small and there are no leaves. So that's telling me that there's not enough nutrition in the coconut core to sustain the plant. Time to cut this and for it to become its own plant. So today we're gonna cut this and repot it so we can have a new plant. Let's get started, guys. If you guys remember, I chose to earlier this branch because it's actually crossing with another branch. You can see here where it's crossing and touching another branch. So I'm going to cut this bottom one, which is the earlier branch, and so I can create a new tree. Of course, because the ear layer was done further up, I'm going to cut it here also, but cut it at the bottom. So I'm going to have a new plant coming from the bottom and a new plant here. So we're going to do that. So let me go ahead and cut the ear layer, and then I'm going to cut this other piece so this stops growing. First, we're going to cut this branch right below where it's ear layered, and then we're going to check on the ear layer, and then we're going to come back and making sure I'm not cutting anything else but that branch. All right. So, ooh, wow, this actually started several additional shoots. I probably should have cut it a little bit higher, but that's fine. So that's what it looks like now. And I'm gonna cut the bottom side also, this bottom piece that's crossing the other branch. So let's do that. Gonna cut it as low as I can get, so all the way down here. It's kind of awkward. Okay, gotta push real hard. All right, got it. So this is the piece that was all the way at the bottom. You see it already has a side branch, so I'll probably just cut the side branch, and I'm gonna pot this up also so it's a new plant. So let's first check on our ear layer. Feels almost like a waste of good branches. I should have tried to get it a little bit lower. So anyway, the branches will come back. All right, so let's take this tape off. Ooh, I see roots. I see roots. All right. Yes, definitely see roots in here. That's a good sign, guys. Good sign that this worked. Oh, need something to cut this. Cut this. Let me get some scissors so I don't cut the roots. All right, so got some scissors so we can see how this is. I'm gonna transplant this into a pot with some quality potting mix. All right. So let's gently pick this up. All right, so it does have roots. It does have some roots. The soil mix is very dry. I can see why the plums are prematurely ripening, and you can see there's no nutrition in here. The soil is dry. So we're gonna go ahead pot this up right away, pot these two plants up right away, and give it some good potting mix, and I'll show you how I do that, and we'll be right back. So I just got some quality potting mix. I put a little azomite and some worm castings in there. If you have like fruit fertilizer, you can also put it in there. First of all, let me take some of this out. I'm gonna plant the one that's already rooted first. So I'm gonna take out some of this material and then put it back in. And then what I'm gonna do is gonna cut some more of this root. I'm gonna cut some more of this part here, not the root, but the part that's below the root, so that this can sit better on the soil. So I'm gonna cut this. Even this little piece can be planted, you know. Gonna cut it right here. You can see it's still nice and green. So now I'm gonna plant this. Plant it a little bit deeper. Plant this here. Take out that foil. Make sure it's nice and straight. Then I'm gonna pack this around it. I may also put some stones in here just to keep it in place until the roots spread and get a little bit more firm in this pot. So at this point I could have planted it out into the garden, but I basically have all my plants that I want already. So I'm just packing this around, packing it nice and firm. And oh wow, look at that, guys. All the plums fell off. All the plums fell off while I was packing it. Just shaking it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this back a bit. I probably just pick off the rest of the plums so it can focus on the roots. I'll get more than enough plums next year. This is telling me that it's gonna give me loads of red coat plums next year. So I'm gonna keep this in this pot. If it outgrows the pot before I decide what to do with it, I'll just up pot it, because this will produce fruit right now since it's already now a full tree. And then for this plant, for this one, I'm just gonna make a hole in here. I'm gonna take this and just lightly scratch. This part isn't even that necessary, but you know, I'm gonna put some aloe on it. Aloe is a rooting hormone, and I have the aloe growing freely in my garden. So I'm just gonna rub some aloe along the edge to along where the part that's gonna go into the ground. That's gonna help it to root a little bit faster. It feels like this one is a little bit dried out. If you have rooting agent, you can use it. With plum sticks, they're very easy. I really didn't even need this. As a matter of fact, guys, let me add some of this. I should add some of this back in. Put a little bit in this one also. And make a hole. Stick this in. Pack it in. Gonna water them both. I'm gonna put a little mulch on them, and we should be good to go. So final step, I finished. What I did was I watered them heavily until the water ran through the bottom. Then I topped up some more soil, and I put a good layer of mulch. The mulch should keep the soil moist, and I stuck them underneath my East India mango tree. That will provide shade for it as the leaves develop. I did also cut off the top to, so it can focus on getting new leaves. I think now that I chopped the top off and I have it in soil, within the next few weeks I suspect it will leaf out. I will keep these in the pot until I see roots forming and going through the bottom. So once I see roots forming to the bottom, I know that it's fully ready to be transplanted. So guys, that's it for today's video. Just wanted to give you that update to let you see how my earlier went, and I would say absolutely this was a success. All right guys, till next time, bye now.